Welcome back to the Padilla Family Homestead. Today we are going over the 2022 recap. Kind of what we see as some of the wins and some of the fails of 2022. I was going to pop in a ton of pictures and little clips of videos and stuff, but we had a slight computer malfunction and I don't have a bunch of my pictures available to me right now, and I won't for the next like 6 weeks, so I am just gonna go through and talk to you guys about it. So a couple of the areas that we're going to go through, I'm going to hit them kind of fast because there's a few wins and there's some fails, but I talked to my husband and my daughter and kind of got together our consensus as a family. Not everything has YouTube videos regarding what we did, but there are a few things, and then I've shared a lot of it over on our Instagram page as well. So if you're not following us on Instagram, make sure you follow us there and subscribe here if you haven't, because we are going to be doing a what we're planning for 2023 video coming up just about New Year's. I'm going to show you guys what is right here. So we live in an apartment and it's a green belt on the other side. And we get these wild turkeys just walking through our apartments. They get up on our roofs. Okay, back to the topic at hand, but I had to show you my squirrel. They just all started walking by. That's the most that I've seen in a while. Okay, so a couple of wins. We're going to talk about food first, and then we'll get into some other stuff. So we have been working on learning skills. This is our classroom period. We live in an apartment in Northern California, and I can't have chickens. I can only have 3 planters, so I have 3 GreenStalks. There's only limited space, only so much I can do in an apartment. However, we have dreams of one day having larger gardens and being able to have chickens and being able to do these things, but I want to have it be where we have the skills and set to deal with it as we get it. So we have been learning to can and to ferment and to quick pickle and all those things, and so we're going to talk about some of those things today. So canning, 3 big wins this year with canning. We did not can a ton. We did have some fails, but we had 3 big wins and 2 massive fails. So apple pie filling. We absolutely love our apple pie filling. We will continue to use their apple pie filling recipe that we're using, and it's one of my daughter's favorite things, and we did it with Pink Lady apples, which is my daughter's favorite apple, and so those held up pretty well, and that was just a huge win. And then bread and butter pickles this summer, those were a hit. They were the first time I've ever tried a bread and butter pickle, and I was definitely outside my comfort zone, but we did those and that was super fun. And then onion jam, that was another fun recipe that we tried. I've never used anything like onion jam before, but we absolutely loved it, and we will plan on doing more of that in the future. So our 2 in this category that were fails, we will be trying them again, but different recipes, and figuring out what it is. We need to do some tweaks to the recipes. So pickled red onions. We love the Green Goddess salad from Panera, and one of the ingredients on there are these really good pickled red onions, and I tried to recreate that with a recipe and we can't stand it. So unfortunately I'm probably going to open those and dump them just because we just really don't like them. The other one that we really didn't like was the canned mandarins. Now I tried to do those really low sugar because of my husband's diabetes, and so we did a super light syrup, and it was too light, so you can taste the pith that's a little bit, that you can't get all the pith off of mandarins, but you can taste like that bitterness, and we are not fans of that at all, which is a bummer because that took a lot of work to do. So those two, we do want them, and we will plan on doing them again in the future, but we are going to change our approach on how we're doing it, what recipe we're using, and so forth. So those are a few wins and a couple fails. Quick pickling. So the biggest win in quick pickling is sandwich slices. I've learned that the small round pickles, they're good, and certain other things are good, but the quick pickles that are the long slices that go on sandwiches, my husband adores those. I really like them. We use those faster. We use them way more often, and so that is something that I will be doing in the future, is way more of those sandwich slices. Now, the one thing I will say is that I have learned for my downfall in quick pickling is I'll get on a quick pickling kick and quick pickle all kinds of things, and then we get tired of eating quick pickle things, and they kind of just sit, and then I start questioning how long they're good for and all of that. So I think I'm going to work on how much of my quantity, how many I'm doing at once, and try to do them more frequently over trying to do that in bulk batches. So that's one of my big lessons that I have learned. Fermenting. So I have just started getting into fermenting, and we've tried a few things. Hot sauce. I have been wanting for a couple of years now to make my husband hot sauce, and I really wanted to do it with homegrown and all this stuff, and I didn't get enough peppers at once out of our GreenStalks, and the previous year, like, we got like 2 peppers out of the garden. So we ended up, when we went to the farm, that the U-Pick farm, and got a bunch of stuff. We got tons of jalapenos, and so my husband helped me slice them all up, because I have to be gloved when I operate with jalapenos. I burn super easy, and I will burn for hours. So he sliced them all up and put them in the jar, made the brine, and we fermented the sliced jalapenos. And we did that for, I think we wanted to do it for like 4 weeks, and we ended up doing it for like 6 weeks. And I was really worried we were going to end up with jalapeno wine or vinegar or something like that. And it turned out so good. We blended it up afterwards, and my husband loved it, and we used it super fast. So that is something I will 100% be doing again. I'm actually probably going to look and see what we have at our local store, and see if I can get another batch going of that soon. Otherwise, I'll be doing that this spring and summer, and fermenting more hot sauce. And I cannot wait till I can finally make a hot sauce out of like Sugar Rush peach peppers and all kinds of fun different flavors, and see which ones he likes the best. The other thing that we fermented that we really liked was small cucumbers. So we made super small pickles, and they were delicious. We did not like the big ones. They got too, I feel like they got foamy, and their texture changed weird. And so I will not be doing fermented large pickles, large cucumbers again. I will be doing the small ones. I get why people say to do the small ones. The texture is amazing. The flavor is amazing. And so we will definitely be doing that again. The other thing that we have tried, and I really botched it up, so bad that my husband didn't want me to try it again, because all we could think of was the smell, was the sauerkraut. I tried so hard to do the sauerkraut. I think I tried it twice, and I tried to do a combo of purple cabbage and green cabbage, and I missed it next time with just the green cabbage. And I have a feeling I know a couple of things I did wrong, but man, that when you smell stinky old sock, it is stinky old socks, and it is disgusting, and that was a huge fail. So that did not work for us. Then the other thing that's in the fermented category that we did last year, and we've actually used a ton this year, and I made another batch this year, and it's the garlic fermented in honey. It has been great. It has helped with immune boosting. It has helped when we were sick to help cut the time we were sick and the severity of it. It's just amazing. The other thing is ginger in honey. That was a new one, and we did that, and my husband really enjoys that flavor. We will definitely be doing that again, and we'll keep that on hand. So a couple other things for preserving wise is freezing. We have started to try to buy more locally, local food, supporting like the U-Pick farms or farmers markets or stores that have local produce in it. And then we are doing in bulk when we can get good sales, and we are freezing a ton of it. So we did all that corn. We had peppers and onions and all kinds of things in the freezer that we are still working through. I think we have one more bag of corn on the cob still from our October haul when we froze a bunch of those. So, and we still have a bunch that are already off the cob, still in the freezer. I'm going to shift direction because of that sun. But freezing and trying to do things in bulk more, that really helped. We did different like breakfast burritos, and I call them egg muffs. They're like egg bites, but they're like bigger muffin size. We did a whole lot of that, and that helped a lot with us eating at home and not a bunch of fast food. So that was huge for our family. And then we really limited how much we ate out, which actually turned into, with me learning to prep and have stuff ready for us, that made it to where we didn't eat out as much. And then we would try to reward ourselves with eating out, and we really didn't like it. So it's really changed our taste buds and how our body responds to food that we get out. Another food item that was a huge success, I think it's one of my biggest successes this year, was sourdough. Sourdough has been a game changer. We've had it since February, I think, and we have done the focaccias and dessert breads and stuff with fruit and nuts in it. We make bagels and pita pockets, and I have so many more things I want to learn how to do with it, but it really has been a game changer. Just regular sliced sandwich bread that's sourdough, and it really does affect my husband's sugar less with using that bread. So that has been a huge win for us. Plus it's just delicious, absolutely delicious. And we love being able to have another fermented food into our diet. Okay, so with food stuff comes in buying in bulk and building our pantry. I think we have done an extremely good job at that this year. We have been focusing on, even if that means we go without it for a month to where we can buy it in bulk the following month, and then we don't have to buy it for a long time. That has been a game changer, and it's helped us financially to be able to help keep our pantry stocked. Okay, so a couple other things, switching gears just a tiny bit in here. Home remedies. So we did talk about like the garlic fermented in honey and the ginger fermented in honey and things like that, but we've been working on making some salves for the skin, and really working on trying to do things more naturally. And that has been, we started going for that first, which is awesome. As soon as we start feeling a tickle in our throat or somebody around us was sick, we immediately go for the home remedies and the immune boosters, the essential oils and all that stuff, which was not always the case. This year we really did that with intention, and now we don't even think about it. We just automatically start going for the home remedies first. So I think that's really good. We have a long way to go in that category. But it's slowly adding one thing here, one thing there, and figuring out what works for us. let's see. Another thing when it came to food is there's been a few things this year that, so I have over the last, I don't know, 6-7 years, like my feet swell. When it's hot outside, I just figure I'm on my feet all day. I'm wearing flat shoes. I wasn't eating the greatest years ago, and then now I'm on my feet all the time, and half the time I'm barefoot because I'm at home. When I went back to work and I was sitting in the office, I thought it was because I was sitting down a lot. And this summer my feet were really, really bad, and I was almost to the point where I was like, I think I need to go into the doctor and get this checked out. And then we ran out of coffee creamer, and I decided, you know what, I'm not going to go buy coffee creamer right now. I'm going to go through some of the stuff I have on hand, and I started using the half and half. I had half and half and a little bit half and half and a little bit of heavy whipping cream on hand, and I used that with some honey in my coffee to try that instead of the International Delight Cold Stone Creamer coffee creamer. And I all of a sudden, I didn't realize the connection at first, but my feet stopped swelling. Like my feet were back to like perfectly normal size. I didn't have to put them up throughout the day. Nothing was bugging them. And then a couple of weeks later, I ended up going to buy some coffee creamer because I really liked that coffee creamer, and I wanted to have it with my new shipment of coffee that came in. And that night my feet swelled up so bad, and they swelled the next couple of days, and then it went away when I stopped drinking the coffee creamer again. And so I was looking at the ingredients, and there's an ingredient in there that I think is causing the swelling. And then I decided, so it's carrageenan or whatever. I'm staying away from that ingredient right now. And also I'm trying to stay away from soy. I always knew, like, soy protein, I get really bad headaches if I try to do like one of the shakes with soy that's soy protein based. It just doesn't make me feel good. And so I decided to stay away from soy, and I'm staying away from anything that has that carrageenan in it. And my swelling has been down for weeks. And then my husband decided to treat me and got me a payday, and neither of us even thought to look in a payday for that ingredient, and sure enough it was in there, and I didn't realize it till afterwards, and I swelled up really bad again. So I am learning that as I'm eating healthier, I'm learning to listen to my body when it's responding to different foods and different ingredients, and that my body likes it when I eat healthy. It doesn't like it when I eat crappy food or fillers or things like that. So I'm really paying attention to that. So I think that's a big win for me if I can keep this is a new process for me, and it's been I want to say it's been since October that I have been staying away from that, and I really haven't had swelling except for those 2 times. So I think that's really working. 2 months down the road, I'm still doing good. So I'm going to keep that up, and we'll go from there. So that's a big win for me. This year was an interesting one for us medically. So the beginning of the year, we started the year sick. And then right after I got better, my gallbladder freaked out at me, and I ended up with a gallstone, and my gallbladder didn't drain properly, and I ended up having to go in for gallbladder surgery. So I found out I had gallbladder issues in January, and at the same time my blood pressure, I found out, was off the charts. And so I ended up quitting my job and staying home, and my blood pressure regulated back out and was back to normal with removing stress from my life at that point in time. And then I really focused on what I was eating, and I had to be very careful because of the gallbladder situation. and I had surgery in April from that. So I had a lot of different things happening with my body and health-wise for the first few months of the year. After that, it took a little bit for my body to get back into the swing of processing and doing things, and I'm doing really good now, but it is definitely something that took its toll. And so that was something that really changed a lot of our eating habits as well. Well, my eating habits. Now, my husband this year, right around the same time, was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. And his diabetes, when he found out he had it, his numbers were up in like the 300 and somethings. And we really jumped in. So we jumped into the sourdough. We jumped into really cutting out a lot of the carbs for him. But when we do make it, we make sure we're doing it with things that hit the glycemic index a little differently. We have really added in like balsamic vinegars into our diets, which helps with him with the sugars. And then now his blood sugars are between 89 on a good day to 140 on a bad day, like during the holidays if he's cheating and eating cookies and stuff. But even our cookies are made with better ingredients because it's all homemade. We're not buying a bunch of store-bought stuff. So that to me was a huge win, that we have gotten to the point where he's really dropping it down and he doesn't have to take medicine as often at all. So that to me was huge. Another big diet change we did this year was my daughter. We found out a few years ago that she's gluten intolerant. She went without gluten for a while, and then she decided to go ahead. She could start eating it again, and she was doing okay with it, but she has really realized at 17, almost 18, she'll be 18 in a month, that her body is starting to not process it well again. And so she feels better, her skin feels better, her digestive tract feels better when she does not eat gluten. So we have really switched over to gluten-free for her. So you can just imagine our 3 diets can get really interesting. We've got gluten-free, we've got diabetes, so we have to do lower sugar, and then we have me who had the gallbladder stuff, and so my body doesn't handle a ton of fats very well. And so it's funny, but we actually have learned to balance it and make it work. And it has been a win for us, but it was definitely a struggle. The fact that we got there in the first place sucks, but the fact that we have been able to make the best of it and really turn those numbers around and really turn our health around is good. And now we're at the point where we are working towards some more goals with that. So super excited about that. And then the other one, I'm reading my notes here. This year was definitely a different year for us. So we are used to it's really just us at home, the 3 of us. We don't have a ton of people over, not for any particular reason. It's just how life is. We're always so busy and doing stuff, and schedules didn't line up, and it's just how it has been. And this year, it has been funny. It was the year of visitors. So we had my husband's dad and sister came out for a week and stayed with us, and then they went home, and a week later my mom showed up and she stayed with us for like 3 months. And so it has been a lot of fun hanging out with family and making memories, and that has been a huge part of this year, is being intentional to spend quality time with those that are here, those that we could talk to, but also with the 3 of us, making sure that even though we had other people coming and going, that we checked in with each other and we had intentional family time. And we could communicate on what was going on in our lives, and if one of us needed to slow down and give more attention, we did that. And so that, I think, was a big win this year. I think that the emotional and mental well-being of the household is improving at exactly the same time as the physical and the health side. And then you have the spiritual side, which we have been growing in as well. And so it's been a really big year for growth for us. And that's kind of my recap. Those are my big categories that I wanted to hit on. We have a few more things coming up this year to close out in videos. I want to make sure that we have lots of fun stuff for you. Another win is the Tea Time with Jen. I'm getting out of my comfort zone when it comes to videos. I struggle with being on camera, like I've talked about, being your own worst critic. And so I'm trying to make sure I'm getting out there, getting more content, trying to be as authentic as possible, and talking about things that are important to us. And so with the encouragement of my husband and my daughter, we started Tea Time with Jen, and that's been a fun little series. And it'll be out there for people to watch, and I have a playlist with that. And then we're going with that through January, and then we're going to take a break until next fall or winter, and then we'll do another series of those videos. And so that's been another fun thing. It's just getting out of my comfort zone, and I'd love to hear if you guys have different things that you want to see, if you want to talk about when it comes to, I mean, we live in an apartment, we're doing our best, doing what we can, we're growing food, we're doing preserving, we're trying to add in all the natural things that we can with what we have around us and what's in our ability. So we're not perfect, but we are definitely enjoying the ride. So we hope that you subscribe, and we hope that you hang out with us, and we'll have some more videos coming out. We have another Tea Time with Jen this Friday, and I'll have some more stuff next week. And then at the end of next week, my husband and I will be talking about what is coming in 2023 and what some of our goals are for 2023. So thank you for watching, and we hope that you have a wonderful holiday season with your family, or if you're not able to be around family, just enjoy your holiday season, enjoy your peace and quiet, and just make special memories. Thank you for watching, and we will talk to you soon.